What's going on, everybody? It's Cornbread Trucker here. Doing a 30-minute break. I've got about well over 15 minutes left. Thought I would I'd talk a little bit about hours of service, and not necessarily like explaining how hours of service work. There might be a time that I do a video on that, but I kind of want to talk about just regulation, I guess. Kind of specifically the 70-hour rule. So, when I drove 20 years ago, if I recall correctly, we were able to drive 10 hours a day. We could work 15. And I can't remember if it was 70 hours or 80 hours. I don't remember the exact, but it was figured kind of like on 7 days, as I recall. It's been a while. And I can't remember if it had to be a 10-hour break or if you had to have an 8-hour break. I'm not positive on that either. So my memory doesn't serve me well in regards to that. But I know a few years, probably might have been within a year, maybe 2 years, somewhere in there, don't remember exactly, after I'd stopped driving, they had the rule change on the logs. And it may have happened a couple of times, but somewhere in there, we ended up with the regulations we have now. And I actually have no problem with the way it's set up, except for maybe this, if there was a complaint, it's the 70-hour rule. And I'm going to ask that people comment on this and give me your opinion on it. Maybe change my mind on this 70-hour rule, but I'll just kind of go into all this. So I'm completely fine with the drive 11 hours, work 14. And even the 30-minute break, after 8 hours of driving. I mean, we didn't have that 30-minute break before. I mean, if I needed a break, I took a break. But I get, and sometimes I didn't take that break at all. I just pushed through. But not everybody can push through. Some people need that break. And, definitely now as I've gotten older, I do have to stop a little more. But I can push through a 10-hour shift, but I sometimes need, that break kind of comes in handy, I guess. But I'm going to stop if I need to stop, whether I need a 30-minute break or I just need 5 minutes or whatever it is, I'm going to stop. But all in all, I have no issues with any of that. Now, as far as this, when I talk about the 70-hour rule, I guess I'm going to talk about it from my perspective as an OTR driver. To me, because we are able to run on recaps, I sometimes don't even understand why we even have the 70-hour rule. Because if you're able to run on recaps, you're not taking a day off. Okay, today I'm only able to run 9 hours instead of drive 11 hours. I can only drive and work 9 or 10, whatever that may be. But I'm still out and working. And if I do a 34-hour reset, I mean, I'm on the road. I'm not at home. So I'm doing a 34-hour reset somewhere that I really don't want to be. And I get no better rest than I would have if I'd been out driving. And more times than not, I mean, when I'm on a 34-hour reset, I will do laundry, of course, and I'll clean up in the truck, but I do that anyways. I don't have to have a 34-hour reset. I can do that while I'm on my 10-hour break, and more times than not, I've got more than 10 hours. So that I just don't really see the purpose of that 70-hour rule. I get, okay, so you're not they just restricting you to not working more than 70 hours in 8 days. But the next day, you know, so I'm out hours and I got recap hours and I run the next day, and, you know, work 12 hours. I drove 10 and worked 12. I mean, it's not really saving you anything. It just restricts you, makes you take. So if you're in a situation where you're forced to do a 34-hour, you're just taking a 34-hour where you probably don't want to be out anyways, and not getting any more rest, and really losing out. And that's another thing. The computer for us at Prime, you know, works out loads based on, you know, what we have available for hours to work. And because of the fact that you've got a 70-hour rule, it can affect what kind of load you get, what kind of money you make. I don't really see the purpose of it. Now, I'm looking at it from my perspective, and there may be oversights that I have. If you have some thoughts about it, I encourage you to, you know, try and change my mind on it. And it doesn't matter whether, because in the end, me having this conversation on this YouTube channel is not going to change it. It's not going to make one bit of difference, because I know I'm not the only person that feels that way or has ever talked about it. But it is one regulation that does not make sense to me. And I don't want to say it's stupid. I'm going to stop short of that, because there may very well be some reasons, very legitimate reasons for it, besides for just regulating us. But this industry, and I also think that even plays into some of the PC issue, is because people are just trying to save hours. It may not be that they're trying to save their drive hours for the day, or trying not to, maybe they're in a split and they want to go do something personal and they don't want to start that clock, or whatever the reason. That may influence people to use PC and take that risk. And, you know, going back to like what Eric said, you know, some of it is just interpretation of the DOT officer that is, you know, reviewing your logs, and whether they're in a good mood or not. So that being said, again, let me know what your thoughts are. It is snowing here. I'm up at the Ohio, Pennsylvania line, up here on 80, or no, up on 90, I'm sorry. Continuing to head east. Let's hope the roads are good right now, but we'll see how they turn out. I definitely want to try and I can't go all the way to my 90. I could only show up 30 minutes prior to my appointment, so that will be in the morning, so I will stop short somewhere. I really wish it was kind of like Meyer, where they had the ball pin, where you can get there and park in the ball pin, and have overnight parking. That way you're there. The only reason I say that is just because of this weather, you know, just not sure what it's gonna really turn out to be. But right now the roads are good, so I definitely want to get going and get as close as I can get, and then we'll finish up the rest in the morning. So all right, you guys stay safe, have a good one. Hope to hear back from you, and I'm out.